And hello, everyone, and welcome back. Um, so yeah, um, bad news, everyone, but Stadia's shutting down in January. So at least they gave us a bit of a headroom. Um, anyway, um, web process is crashed. Oh no. Okay. Uh, let's see here. It's still crashing. I'm gonna see if I can get this going somehow. Um, I don't know. Can I do that? Uh, I don't think that's working now. I guess that's not working. Okay, let's do this one. Shit. Mm, so January is they're gonna shut down the shut down Stadia. Uh, I I don't really understand why. I mean, it's a fucking good service. So yeah, I was not expecting this. That's for fucking sure. Mm, yeah. But at least we can play the games until then, and we're gonna get money back for the games that we have played. I'm gonna check my channel and see what is new. Short, yes, throw. Um, volume. Those restrictions numbers we hide in here somewhere. We made it this far. We'll be set it to hunt them down. Let's get the second hiding for that. But does it really matter? Hmm. This is gonna be
It's my turn.
All right.
I'll handle this.
Understood.
because I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You got this, animal.
I will probably get a, about $700 back, I think.
On guard. It is
So that's at least something. So we're
Something's
anyway.
here.
We're back here. That's interesting. I was so hoping that they would be a sort of a revival of the whole Stadia thing, but yeah. Uh,
I have to take
but that's the thing when you get the whole goddamn gaming press against you. You can't really win. Because this has probably been
Something's here.
I've sort of I've loved Stadia. So I mean, it's been just a nice gaming platform to play games on, and especially this that you can stream without needing hardware. It's been so nice because for some reason I can't really stream.
Your turn, Anamona.
And I don't really feel like starting new games if I just
I have
can't.
detected something.
Just if I can't really
Your turn.
play with. If I really just can't end
I have detected
the
something.
games. Some games have cross play and stuff, but they have anti cheats and stuff, and I don't know that's gonna fucking work.
Off we go.
Whoa, we found them, says Christian. Who's there? Says Gaston. Alex says, "It's the Monstrums. It's the Monstrums." Turns out your little hunch was right, says Jules. One moment. I'm gonna check that I might have sound. Do I have sound? Yes, I do have sound. Good. Doesn't seem like Margaret's here, but I'm sure she'll rendezvous soon enough, says Jules. That's one hefty stash of weapons and ammo you got there, says Credo. Not to mention enough powder to send a good several guard posts up in smoke. But there's like what? Only 6 of you chumps together? Talk about a letdown. Gaston. Right as we were finishing up our preparations too. Damn monstrums. Mind your own business and scram for once, says Gaston. Um, uh, Don't attack the. What? Why would the boss do something like that? Says Gaston. We Monstrums received a request warning us of your intentions. It explicitly told us to do something about it if you harbor any objections. I'm gonna get something. Just got some water. Sorry about that. It explicitly told us to do something about it if we harbored any objections, says Anamona. Eva says, "Look, why don't you just give the crazy plan a rest already? Think before you act. That's what Parry told us. Told us to tell you." Parry. Says Gaston. Alex says, "Hey Gaston, maybe the boss is against this whole thing after all. You heard the old Ginyu say things have changed since the war. You mean all the croak about living in harmony with Rome to restore Balduc? Doing that makes us no better than livestock, crazing up to the hands that feed us, cursing up to the hands that feeds up. We Gillians have our pride. Like hell, we're submitting to those rotten invaders. Alex says, Gaston. We'll never give in, not until they answer for what they've done to us. Until every single life we've lost to the war is paid in full with Roman blood. Jules says, he's gone off the deep end. All and all, you'll end up doing. Okay, Krisha says, all, oh, all you'll ever do is end up sowing even more hatred. And the ones who'll suffer for it are the ones who did nothing to deserve it. You think we're just gonna sit back and let that happen? Think again. Okay, that was someone else, perhaps. Gaston says, "Ha, so that's how you wanna play it, huh? Fine. We'll need a good warm-up round before taking on Rome anyway." Gaston, what are you? Says Alex. Kratos says, so you're gonna romp with the monstrums, dear? You should reconsider. We don't want to hurt you.
Hold on.
Shut up. The ship's already sailed 8 years ago. The grief and suffering those Roman wrought on us is one we'll never forget. They killed our friends and family, plundered our citizens, slapped attacks on them besides. Don't you get it? The only way for us to take our dignity, this is the only way to take us our dignity back. And if you monstrums ain't with us, you might as well be against us. Resistance member says, that's right. The only thing those Roman get from us is a taste of their own medicine. Shit on my glasses, I think. They'll cast every one of those dirty we'll cast every one of those dirty trespassers out of our rightful land. Resistance member says, they'll be sure to hear our message back at the capital, loud and clear. And the bells of freedom start to ring. They'll know that the pride of Gideon will never die. Yeah! You guys, get a hold of yourselves, says Alex. Huh? Oh. Here it comes. The enemy. What the hell are those? Monsters? Eek! Where did they come from? It's just like in the Grimwald. The accumulation of their combined animosity must have brought forth the Nox. Who gives a flying damn anyway? Those gals be way more fun than those lame-ass resistance wimps. Oh, bother. Guess we'll have no choice. And that was that. They're they're gone. Amazing. I can't believe you defeated those things. Krisha says, phew, that takes care of that. Pff, you guys are pathetic. You really think you can go head to head with a Roman after crawling over small fry like that? Come on. Hey, come on, Hawk. You think you know anything, don't you? Says Gaston. Whether we're a match for them or not is besides the point. All that matters is making the Romans suffer every bit we have, and more. We don't. If we don't, everyone we've lost 8 years back will have died for naught, for nothing. Right, guys? Right. We came too far to give up now, says a resistance member. Another resistance member says, I'll give my life if it means getting revenge on Rome. Gaston, everyone, please. Do you really think this will save Gilia? Is that really what you're after? Hmm. Don't act like you got a say in this, any of this, says Gaston. What you know? Enough! This ends here, says who? If it's not Margaret. Jules says, Margaret, says Christian. Margaret. Goodness me, I certainly don't expect the Monstrums to be here. Perhaps they're acquainted with those youngsters I met at a bath? In a sense. That aside, it would seem they've managed to carry out my request. Gaston says, Boss, I said enough, Gaston. The balls of freedom wasn't forged as a way to vent your frustration. What? The bells of freedom, vent my frustrations? Is that all it is to you? Do you have any idea how much we've been doing for Gilead? Were that really the case, I would have stood behind you until the bitter end. As she who lit the first spark, I intend to support you no matter what the cost. To bear the weight of your lives and misdeeds as though they were my own. But I think you put it best, no? That all that matters is making those Romans suffer. That and that you'll give up your lives if it means getting revenge on Rome. Tell me, where in the creed of where in the creed of the bells of freedom have I missed those words? Uh, fight without belief or conviction, and you'll have no difference from those monsters. Gaston says, "I." That's says a resistance member. Alex says, "Dots." Margaret says, "Of course, all this is just as much my responsibility as anything else. Your old crone of a leader has failed to guide you on the path of right. For that, I apologize. I truly do. I truly do." Boss, says Gaston. Old man, what the fuck his name is? The same fault lies with every one of us old timers. The fault lies with every one of us old timers. But it's not too late. You youngsters still have your whole lives ahead of you.
That's exactly right, says Margaret. I want you all to take this time to gather yourselves together and reflect, says Margaret, both on what it really means to save Gilead and why the bells of freedom truly rings. As long as you safeguard this city with pride, I know the right answer will come. I'm sure my boy wouldn't have wasted it, wanted it any other way. Says all the members. Alex says, right as ever, boss. Gaston says, dots. All well said and wells, says Christian. Nothing more than more boring than a happy ending. What follows what follows now is up to them. No. Sorry to have you put through this trouble, boys and girls, says Margaret. I can't say I know this would turn out, but I'm glad I made that request. I'm glad we could help. Now that you came, now you can come back to bar.
No.
Glad you can help. Ha ha ha! You have my thanks. Still, the situation in Balduke is nearing its peak. You have my aid now more than ever before. As both the leader of the Bells of Freedom and the ever stubborn old bat, Margaret Reyes. Adel and the others returned to the bar to report what happened soon after. Having finally settled her concerns over their assistance, Margaret has welcomed back into the dandelion with open
That
battle.
takes care of that.
All right. Mm-hmm. Now I can.
Understood.
Let's see here. I should be going somewhere. I think no. Everything is. Oh, there's something here. Ah, right. The Colosseum seems emptier than usual, says Jules. Guess they really did put all the showing on hold after all, says Credo. Guess they really did put all the showing on hold after all, says Credo. Krista says, we need to find why Alex was taken away by the night. Yufa says, talking to his co-workers is probably the fastest way to do just that. Right, let's go. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Talk to Bullfighter Fitch. Excuse me? Oh, you're Felix friends, right? Yufa says, we are. We heard he never made it home last night. The bullfighter Finch says, that would be because he was taken to the prison. Yufa says, oh, I'm sorry. I objected to what the knights were doing. Really, I did. The rumors are true then, says Jules. But they can't be. Why Felix of all people? What time? Remember that bull that went on a rampage during the show? He was taken in on suspicion of endangering spectators with his reckless bull handling. You're joking! I wish I was. Anyone who was there knows it wasn't his fault. I It's gotta be some mistake or something. Yufa says. The knights were the ones to blame for all of this in the first place. Kratos says, Meh, those guys will make up any random offense to toss someone in the clink. Those dirtbags, they're just framing him as at this point. Bullfighter Finch says, I was thinking the same. Nothing good can come from this. Guess that means the knights have some business with your boy, the boy toy. Says, guess the knights have some business with the boy toy, says Credo. There seems to be some common link with your sister, Holding Pussycat. You mean between Carla and Felix? They're not exactly compatible. I mean, he is compassionate, I guess, and surprisingly kind and smart and... Huh? Wait, Gah, that was just trying to make me... What were you trying to make me say here? It's okay, Yufa. Calm down. Kratos says, drop dead. What exactly was Felix taking away? When exactly was Felix taken away yesterday? Says Jules. In the evening, says Finch. Right after our night show got cancelled out of nowhere. The knights called out and stopped Felix on our way home from the Colosseum. Well, not just the knights, some Roman soldiers were there too. Roman soldiers? Says Jules. So they were in on it too, says Credo. So they were in on it too, says Credo. Actually, they were trying to bail him out, says the bullfighter. Apparently they were there during the show when the bull got out of control. Yufa says, the Romans were helping him? Felix, bullfighter says, but Felix ended up taken away by force anyway. Either way, the Roman soldiers said they couldn't do anything about it without a warrant. Just what is up with all this? Yufa says, Felix. Bullfighter Finch says, he's not the only one who's gotten taken away. The whole city's been on edge. And here everybody thought the knights were the good guys. Well, anyway, here's hoping Felix comes back to us soon. Yeah. So Felix really was taken away by the knights. Krishna says, I'm so sorry, Yufa. I'll be okay. We can't just stick around here. Let's just head back to the dandelion for now. It's either that or watch you mope. It's either that or watch you mope around till the crows come home, says Credo. Krista says, we will have finished checking every place. Well, we have finished checking every place we need to. Yule says, let's go back to the dandelion and sort things out. I like Jufa said. Anemona says, yes, let's.
What are the hieroglyph knights up to?
Mm-hmm. Dogi says, so the knights really were stitching people up. So the knights were really stitching people up, snatching people up off the streets. Parks says, and the master and Commander Chantelard What exactly does he intend to do with them? Chantray says. But the knights haven't done anything dramatic since they captured the Governor General's office. Dogi says. And and that's what I don't like. It's the calm before the storm. Almona says. Perhaps it has something to do with the recent arrests. Jules says. I find it difficult that they've come this far to just hang up their hats. Now, says Jules. Krishna says, maybe they're waiting for something. Credo says, what? Don't look at me. I haven't shown up to work in a while, so I'm as out of the loop as you are. Park says, Master Chantelard. As you're all aware, he is a venerable and deeply trusted ambassador between Rome and Gilead. Despite that, it wouldn't be unexpected in the least if he fosters a deep hatred for the Romans. Yuva says, really? How can you tell? Jules says, Master Chantelard always seemed like a guy with a provicity for the moderate. Park says, when Gilead was invaded by the Empire, he was the front lines defending Balduc. I was on the front line defending Balduc. Park says, a massive battle erupted on the outskirts of Balduc. The 4th Battalion, commanded by General Borden of the royal family, suffered defeat. The general retreated from the battlefield into the safety of Balduc's walls. The Roman army, with a victory in sight, pursued him without mercy. I believe this was the battle which resulted in your parents passing, Yufa. Yufa says, Tots. In merely moments, Parks continues. Balduc was besieged by a Roman general known as Roaming Leo. The battle soon became a siege war. Tell us something we don't know, says Credo. Yeah, I remember the city being in chaos when I was growing up, says Jules. Park says, you see, it was that moment that ignited the chains of events leading to our city crisis today. The 4th Battalion was outmatched and desperate for its provisions. And desperate, for its provisions were depleted. At the same time, the city was being overrun by riots and pillaging from within. Chantelard was stationed with a company that chose to obey orders and stand their ground. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Obey and stand their ground. Knowing that they won't last, Chantelard executed a plan that would turn the tides of battle. He took a small number of troops and sacked and snuck past the siege under cover of night, under the guise of a reinforcement using flambeaus. They ambushed the Roman army. In response, the 4th Battalion engaged to advance and launch a pincer movement. Says Credo. That's not a bad strategy. Indeed, says Parks. They even managed to obtain approval from the stubborn General Baudouin. The maneuver was sent into motion, and the stationary troops engaging the uh, rear guard. The disarrayed Roman struggled to respond. Then they waited for the 4th Battalion. But the Balduc forces never opened, and the 4th Battalion never emerged. So they just left them. So they just left them to die, asks Jules. Correct, says Parks. Supposedly the General Shard changed his mind before maneuvering was to begin. Nonetheless, the Roman regiment regained their composure and retaliated. They made quick work of Chantelard and his company. That's terrible, says Christian. Parks continues. Balduc's stationary troops were comprised of young, talented men. All but an instant, all of Chantelar's trusted comrades were annihilated. Oh, I see. All that happened right outside the city walls? That's true. That's a truth. Okay, Park says. That's a truth the Gillian royal family kept from the outside world to this day. They announced their unconditional surrender right after that, didn't they? They announced their unconditional surrender right after that, asks Jules. Parks says, that's right, but that wasn't the end of Chantelard's efforts. After the surrender, Chantelard proposed that the families of the fallen comrades be indemnified. The royal family promptly refused. Shortly after, Chantelard was baptized and founded the Hieroglyph Knights in Gilead. Credo says, that explains his Gilead complex. Yufa says, I feel terrible for him. But it's not enough reason to roll over and just let him get his revenge. Krishna says, I agree. Nothing good can come out of this. I hear you. So what's it gonna be, Adel? Let's find out the truth behind this prison. Let's put a stop to Chantelard's plan. Both of these are good plans. I think it both. We were supposed to find the truth. That was what we. I think both are the same. So let's say that. I'm probably not the only one who thinks there's something fishy about that place. And I'm curious to know what Dad's up to. But it's clear that Krista says, but it's clear that Chantelard has something to do with what's going on inside the prison. And I just know that Carla and Felix are being held in the restricted sector. Kratos says, just you wait. I'm gonna have his head on a platter. Then it's settled. It's great that we are all pumped and all, but the restricted sector is on high alert now. Your gifts might not be all it takes to get through unscathed. It was not a matter of time. It was only a matter of time before something was done about all those break-in. Shantae, it's only a matter of time before something was done about all those break-ins. If only there was a way to get inside without being noticed at all. Uh, the restricted sector, says Jules. Wasn't there an old aqueduct there? Uh, Krista says, was there? Here, check out this big. Check out the. Excuse me. Check out the big braid on this kid. I think I remember it too. Says Credo. Judging by the direction, it's probably draining water from the Seal Canyon. Seal Canyon? That's just northeast of the city, right about here. Then that's our new front door. But there's a barrier blocking this passage. How convenient. Then we have to disperse this barrier before we can get in. Yufa says, we're ready to go whenever you are, Adel. Be careful out there, says Dogi. These hieroglyph knights are at every corner of the city. New quest has been added to Bulletin Board. I'm gonna save now. And I was actually not expecting Google to shut down Stadia. I genuinely thought it's gonna go for at least 10 years, even with outdated hardware. But, well. Anyway, I did say, didn't I? Yes, I did. I'm gonna go to the loo. So I'll just quit here, and I'll be back in a while. One